At this juncture, I'll ask the company secretary to confirm the quorum, and then we proceed with the meeting as I said.
I confirm that the members are present and I declare this meeting duly convened and constituted.
The company secretary will then read the notice.
Notice of the annual general meeting. Notice is hereby given that the 13th annual general meeting of the East African Tea Trade Association, Eatta, will be held at the Eatta Secretariat Tea Trade Center along Nyerere Avenue, Mombasa on Friday, 31st March 2023, starting 9 a.m. to transact the following business. Agenda. Under agenda, we have ordinary business number 1, to confirm, to receive and confirm minutes of the previous AGM held on the 18th March 2022. B, to receive and adopt the financial statements for the year 31st ended 31st December 2022 together with the report of the directors and of the auditors thereon. Number 3, to elect directors attached to this notice and marked Appendix A. Number 4, to appoint Oberia and Company as external auditors for the year ending 31st January 2023 and to There's a reappointment of the current auditor Zambali Ogot and Company LLP was recommended for a second term for the financial year ending 31st December 2022, and the board was authorized to fix the remuneration. A resolution was also passed under special business, providing that producer-related associations will be invited to attend meetings from time to time, but they shall have no voting rights. This provision amends Section 26E of Article 2. The board is to expend 74,875 shillings to develop the multi-hall auction, and I pass this over to Mrs. Florence Odino to give a further brief.
Members, further to that item that you approved, you authorized the board to expend the amount that has been stated, 7,574,875. This work was supposed to have taken place in 2022, but it did not take place. Reason being, there were issues around need to stabilize the ITTS. We are all aware of the recurrence of Error 504, so that took a while to stabilize. And then also the fact that there was the need to now optimize the system, allow it to stabilize, and then deploy the multi-hall in the most stable version. Took a while. Actually, the broker screen was only successfully deployed in February this year. So, due to those matters, we were not able to progress with the development of the multi-hall. So, in view of the passage of time, we had to go back to the vendor to obtain a more valid, a more current quote. So, when the vendor gave us the quote was given in US dollars. The standards that the vendor has maintained, he will only be delivering to us on US dollar basis. We're all aware of what's happening in the global markets. So, because of that, the cost is USD $75,000, and then if you put in VAT, it comes to about 12 million. The figure is 12,180,000. So you can see that there's been movement from what you approved, 7.5, and then now we are at 12,180,000. There is a variation of 4.6 million. So members, this is for you to note that there's been that variation in cost, and we are making that disclosure to the annual general meeting that will be proceeding on the basis of that incremental cost. I submit. Thank you. Over to the Cabinet Secretary.
So under the meeting that took place on the 18th of March 2022, there was no other business. The meeting was declared closed by the chairman at 11:15 a.m. Over to you, Chairman.
Thank you, Company Secretary. The second item to be considered is the adoption of the financial statements for the year ending 31st December 2022, together with the Directors and Auditors report, which have already been circulated. I hope we all have them. I will now call upon the Acting Managing Director to lead us into the Florence.
So we are presenting the financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2022.
We need a proposer and a seconder to confirm the minutes.
Thank you. Eatta Agm proposed and seconded by Vice Chief. Thank you.
Right, so I'll move on to the financial statements. So we've just been looking at the key highlights, and our surplus for the financial year 2022 declined by 2.9%. And this was due to there were grant expenses incurred in the year under review and none in the previous year. So that means we did not receive a grant in 2021, but because we received a grant in 2022, we had higher expenditure. And our financial strength, overall, we are capable of settling our current liabilities at short notice, as depicted in our quick ratio, 5.3% down from 10.225 in the previous year. When we look at our current ratio, although there was a decline in 2022, the company has the ability to settle short-term obligations. Our operating cash flow ratio has increased marginally to 1.47%, and this depicts that some obligations with significant amounts were accrued in the year under review. Our net profit margin, there's been a decrease, 11.6% down from 16.9% in the 9% in the previous year, due to an increase in our overall expenditure. Our management effectiveness, as demonstrated in the return on invested funds, the return on invested funds declined due to overall increase in expenditure, and our return to assets is robust. Thank you. Those are the highlights of our financials.
Thank you. I will now call upon a very good company who had the company external auditors to give a report.
Chairman, Board of Directors, all the directors and invited guests, good evening, good morning. My name is CPA Frederick Ambale, and the managing partner of Ambale Award and LLP. We have been your auditors for the last 2 years. Just for those who have not interacted with us, just a little brief before I go to the main exercise is that we are registered auditors in Kenya with the Kenya government. We are also approved and regulated by the ISPAC, who are the regulators of accountants in Kenya, and we are also approved secretaries by the Institute of Certified Public Secretaries, that is governance auditors. Again, we are affiliated to international firm, where we are regulated by peer auditors internationally, Omega International, where we do check international changes and needs that may be affecting the Kenyan country and the world at large. So basically, we are based, the head office is in Mombasa, but we have office in Nairobi and satellite offices in other parts of the country. We thank you for having given us opportunity to work with you for the last 2 years. We don't take it for granted. You saw it fit to give us a chance to work with you, and we thank you for that. Now, coming to the work today, we started the audit, we did the interim audit as at 30th September. We conducted it as expected and submitted the report to the board. We interacted with the management, the staff, directors for that purpose, and actually we got all that we required for the interim audit. That was 9 months. Eventually we came back early in the year for the final audit, which again we interacted with the board, management, and also the staff for the purpose of the final audit the year 2022. And again, we managed to check all your headings, the financial statements, every aspect, and every operational activity, income, expenses, assets, and all other aspects. And that's how we ended up coming with the report that we see today. Without taking much, I must say that we got satisfied with most of the aspects, but now that I will not go to the financial statements, because acting director Florence has actually done most of that bit. And of those who are aware in Kenya or the international is that nowadays the auditor does not take the members through the financial statements. What Florence did is actually change, you can say, paradigm shift, whereby the preparers, or the directors and finance officers, are to explain the figures, and she has done the part. My part is only to read the financial statement. I just forgot I have my fellow CPA here, CPA Kelapas, got through the audit manager in charge of this audit, and interacted several times with Audrey and Florence and other members of staff for the purpose of this report, that is CPA Kelapas support. So basically, I will not go into those details because we have already, it has been led by the acting director Florence. And I will only read the opinion, and it's important I mention that during the audit we usually have something called key audit matters, and it was some of the matters that were of great importance during the audit, and it is mentioned, we have, I must also say that during the audit we usually make a letter, formal communication to the directors and management through a letter called management letter. That letter was effectively highlighting, the weaknesses that were found during the audit. So that letter has been given for the purpose of continuous improvement, and maybe those who are concerned may see it from the directors. But there is something else also called key audit matters. Again, this one, we don't issue an independent report on this, but one of the aspects came up during that time was your non-current assets, which we felt that there is a change that needs to be done on that one, because they are only disclosed, but they are not in the main financial statements. So we recommended that you need to show the non-current assets that are actually grants. The grants are not, because those, for example, the system you are using is not directly shown in the financial statements, but only a mention is there. So that is an aspect we saw a key audit matter, one of the key audit matters, and we recommend that because that has the software is a great value and actually you can say game changer in the industry. When you adopted it, it has to be reflected in the financial statements and should be guided by IAS 20 in terms of amortization of that particular asset that came to the company as a grant. So with that one, besides that, the financial statements are okay, and I will read the opinion as follows. We have audited the accompanying financial statements of East Africa Tea Trade Association, set out on pages 19 to 32, which comprise the statement of financial position as at 31st December 2022, the statements of surplus and other comprehensive income, and statement of changes in equity and cash flows for the year then ended, and notes including summary of significant accounting policies. In our opinion, the accompanying financial statements give a true and fair view of the financial position of the company as at 1st December 2022 and its financial performance, cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with the international financial reporting standards for small and medium-sized entities and the Kenya Companies Act. We conducted the audit in accordance with the international standards on auditing, that's ISS. Our responsibilities are as per down there, which you can read. Then we go to the key audit matters. I've explained to you what I meant there in terms of non-current assets, which we believe need to be in the main financial statements. We have other information you can read for yourselves, director's responsibility. And then we have auditor's responsibility. And in the auditor's responsibility, I need to say that the financial statements that Acting Director Franz explained has the 5 components of the financial statements, where it has statements of comprehensive income, then we have statement of financial position, again it has statement of changes in equity, and the 4th aspect being cash flow, and finally the last aspect of the financial statements, which is notes, are all explained in here. All the 5 components of financial statements are here. You can read for yourself at your free time, or maybe you have read for those who have time, because I believe it was shared on time. Now I continue with the last part of the opinion. The engagement partner on audits resulting in this independent auditor's report is CPA Frederick Ambale, practicing certificate number P/1956. That happens to be myself, and it was done on behalf of Ambale Ogot & Company LLP, signed on 8th of March 2023. So basically, that is the report, and the report in short, I should say it is a positive report. Positive for those who are not finance experts. It is actually unqualified audit opinion. An unqualified audit opinion, meaning it's a good report, and if you hear it is qualified, you know it's bad news. So in this case, yours is not qualified, it's unqualified opinion, save for the comments we said, and it's showing that the accounts are giving true and fair view of the state of the company. With those remarks, I come to the end of my presentation, and God bless you all.
Thank you. Thank Ambale and Ogot. Before I I propose a resolution to approve and adopt a financial report, financial statements and the report given by the auditors. I would like to invite questions and comments, if there are any, from the members. Right here. We need to approve the financial statements. We've got two reports, one from the financial part of it, from the TTA, and from Mike's and others. This is the time that we should raise questions, comments, before we proceed. Any questions, please, or comments? You all received the audited accounts prior to this meeting, and it should be able at least to raise a question. Ambale and Ugot. Silence means what? Are they satisfied?
Satisfied.
Thank you. Let's give another clap then. If there are no further questions, I will now call upon the member to propose and second the resolution. I need a proposer. I need a proposer and seconder for the resolution. That the company's financial statements of the year ended 31st December 2022, together with the director's auditor's report, as reported and presented by the external auditors.
I propose.
Is it a fair process? Second of
I second.
Thank you. The resolution having been proposed and seconded, I declare the resolution passed. Our next item in the agenda is the elections of directors. But before we do that, we have in our midst two directors who opted in. They were caught up in a jam. I would like them to stand and introduce themselves. Let's start.
Thank you. My name is Alexis Gilkushaka. I'm General Manager of National Burundi Tea Company, or TB. Thank you.
From Burundi.
From Burundi, yeah.
Thank you. Next.
Good morning. Yeah, my name is Dr. Alice Kipika, One Touch Limited. I'm the chair of PACA members. Thank you.
Thank you. I will now call upon the company secretary to read the resolution.
The resolution on the election of directors that four nominees attached to this notice about Appendix A be appointed directors of the company pursuant to and in accordance with the provisions of Section 2 of Article 8 of the Articles of Association of the company, and one nominee be appointed alternate director pursuant to Section 6 of Article 8. Appendix A, election of directors. Having served the maximum 2 consecutive terms, Mr. William Oyosi retires from office as a director of the company by virtue of Section 10 of Article 8 of the company's resolution. Company's articles. Mr. Peter Kimanga of Global Tea and Commodities Limited has been nominated by Tea Buyers Association for election as director pursuant to Section 2, Section 2 of Article 8. In accordance with Section 6 of Article 8 of the Company's Articles, Mr. Rogers Lai of SSOE Kenya Limited has been nominated for election as alternate director to Mr. Peter Kimanga. In accordance with Section 9 of Article 8 of the Company's Articles, Mr. Charles Kibandi resigned from office as director by notice in writing to the company. Mr. Samuel Karima of Tea Brokers East Africa Limited has been nominated by Tea Brokers Association for election as a director, pursuant to Section 2, subsection 3 of Article 8. In accordance with Section 6 of Article 8 of the Company's Articles, Mr. Caesar Kairu of Union Tea Brokers Limited has been nominated by Tea Brokers Association for election as alternate director to Mr. Samuel Karima. Mr. Francis Mugama of KTBA MS Limited has been nominated by KTBA MS Limited as a director pursuant to Section 2, subsection 8 of Article 8 of the Company's Articles of Association. In accordance with Section 6 of Article 8 of the Company's Articles, Mr. Julius Obuso of KTBA MS Limited has been nominated by KTBA MS Limited for election as alternate director to Mr. Francis Mugama. In accordance with Section 6 of Article 8 of the Company's Articles, Mr. Jeremiah Mugadia of Chai Trading Company Limited has been nominated by the Packers Association for election as alternate director to Dr. Alice Kibika. Having moved out of the trade, Mr. Diogretius Luimana retires from office as a director of the company by virtue of Section 11E of Article 8 of the Company's Articles. Mr. Alexis Girukwishaka of Office Burundi OTB has been nominated by OTB for election as a director pursuant to Section 2, subsection 1 of Article 8. In accordance with Section 6 of Article 8 of the Company's Articles, Mr. Tharsise Nkuzimana of OTB has been nominated for election as alternate director to Mr. Alexis Girukwishaka. I hand it over to Chairman.
Thank you. I will now ask one member to propose and a seconder for all the nominations, new nominations. Can you have a proposal, please? A member to propose and seconder for the resolution, please. Once again, thanks. The resolution having been proposed and seconded, I declare the resolution passed. At this juncture, I would like to introduce the incoming directors. And just in the same way I did the existing directors, I would like you to take just a minute or 2 minutes. Stand, introduce yourself. I'll start by Mr. Kimanga.
Thank you, Chairman. Good morning, all. My name is Eatta Agm. I'm a director of Global Commodities program. And I'm happy for this nomination. Thank you.
Rogers as alternate, is Rogers in? Mr. Karima does not need to introduce himself. This is a continuation. But if you like to talk and introduce yourself, the option is yours.
Morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to continue to serve the tea fraternity and the ETTA banner. Thank you.
Caesar, the alternate.
Morning, my name is Eatta Agm, Union Tea Brokers. and the chairman of the broadcast too. Thank you very much for giving me a chance to serve you. I'll do my best. God bless you.
And Mr. Francis Udamia.
Thank you, Chairman. Good morning once again. My name is Francis Udamia, and I'm also happy with the chance that has been accorded to me to serve the team. I look forward to working very closely. Thank you very much.
His alternate is Mr. Muso Mamtoro Note. Next is Mr. Jeremiah Gadia of Chai Trading Company as the alternate. Is he in? Then next is our friend from Burundi. I'll try and struggle with the name. Yes. Mr. Alexis Mirikwarishaka from Burundi OTV. Mr. Alexis, please.
Thank you very much. Once again, my name is Alexis Giukwishaka. Thank you very much for accepting me to be a member of the board, and looking forward to working with you guys. Thank you.
Very good. Mr. Tarise is the alternate. Mamtol is not here. Thank you. Welcome to the board. Then the next item in the agenda is the appointment of external auditor. The quality of performance of the outgoing auditors Ambali, Gold and Company, and I'm reading what is presented for the The quality of performance of outgoing auditors Ambali and Gold Company is not up to expectation based on the evaluation of their performance. The recommendation to appoint Obilia and Company certified public accountants is informed by Audit and Risk Committee evaluation outcome of a long list of 6 audit firms, which ended up with a list of 3 firms registered by the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Kenya, where we might top out of the 3. I will now call upon the Secretary to read out the resolution.
I read the resolution that the audit firm Obiria and Company be appointed external auditor of the company for the year ending 31st December 2023, and the board is authorized to fix the remuneration. I hand it over to Chairman.
I will now ask one member to propose and one to second the resolution. A proposer, please. I propose. Second. Second, please.
Seconded.
Seconded by. Thank you for the resolution having been proposed and seconded. Next one is my report. And I'm seeing some people getting tired. Can you just stand and stretch yourself and sit? My report will be a bit longer than before. Let's just stand and stretch yourself a bit. that was locked under key that is still being looked for. So I give you a chance just to chat a bit, interact. The next 1 or 2 minutes, I'll go. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. I see 2 of my friends not stretching, so there's no more time for you to stretch. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the board, our company secretary, the auditors who have since left, I'm happy to welcome you to this 13th annual general meeting of the East African Tea Trade Association. I've decided to put my report into different sections. So as I read, I'll be reading the headings as we move on. The first one being global macro environment. Global growth is expected to decelerate sharply to 1.7% in 2023. This is the third weakest pace of growth in nearly 3 decades, overshadowed only by the global recessions caused by the COVID-19 pandemic and the global financial crisis. This is 1.3 percentage points below previous forecasts, reflecting synchronized policy tightening aimed at containing very high global inflation and continued disruptions from Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The United States, the Euro area, and China are all undergoing a period of pronounced weakness, and the resulting spillovers are intensifying challenges faced by emerging markets and developing economies, EMDs. The combination of slow growth, tightening financial conditions, and heavy indebtedness is likely to weaken investment and trigger corporate defaults. Further negative shocks such as higher inflation, even tighter policy, financial stress, deeper weaknesses in major economies of rising geopolitical tensions could push the global economy into recession, and we must be prepared for it when it comes. In the near term, urgent global efforts are needed to mitigate the risks of global recession and debt distress in ELDs. Given limited policy space, it is critical that national policymakers ensure that any financial support is focused on vulnerable groups, that inflation expectations remain well anchored, and that financial systems continue to be resilient. The economic growth as projected in some of our member countries are as follows. I'll start with Kenya. Kenya's growth is projected to slow down from 5.9% in 2022 to 5.7% in 2023, driven on the demand side by a decline in domestic and external demand caused by lower income and by an increase in food and fuel import costs, and on the supply side by heavy economic activity across sectors due to cost push factors. In the case of Uganda, the economic recovery is expected to continue with GDP projected from 4.6 in 2022 to 6.2 in 2023. And this is driven by services following the reopening of schools in 2022 and recovery in the hospitality sector. Whereas in Rwanda, GDP growth is projected to rise from 6.9 in 2022 to 7.9 in 2023. Among our members, this is the highest. The accelerated vaccination rollout, pickup in external demand, and government support to small and medium enterprises has helped support this economic recovery. And for Tanzania, GDP growth is projected to rise from 5% in 2022 to 5.6% in 2023. And this again is due to improved performance in tourism, the reopening of trade corridors, and accelerated rollout of vaccines. You know what happened to Tanzania during the COVID. And lastly, Burundi. Burundi's economic outlook is favorable. I'm glad you have the new director, with a projected GDP growth rates of 3.6 in 2022 to 4.6 in 2023. And this is owing to continuing recovery of agriculture and public investment. That is the position as it is, and that is what we've got to expect when we are looking at the global micro environment. The second one covers global tea production and consumption. Tea production in 2022 stood at 6.398 billion kilograms against 6.455 billion kilograms in 2021, a decrease of 0.9%. At the same time, global consumption dropped from 6.174 billion kilograms in 2021 to 6.098 billion kilograms in 2022. This resulted in a decrease of 1.25%. On the other hand, production in China grew from 3.063 billion kgs in 2021 to 3.090 billion kgs in 2022, an increase of 0.9%. Whereas India, Sri Lanka dropped by 0.22% and 0.22% for India and 16% for Sri Lanka, respectively, from 2021 to 2022. You can see the position of Sri Lanka as we talk, and I think it is now time that we overtake them if they continue dropping at that rate. Among EATTA members, and I'll start with Kenya again. Kenya experienced a decline in production from 0.5% in 2022 as compared to 2021. Similarly, Uganda, Tanzania, Malawi experienced a decrease in production by 9%, 3.4%, and 5.9% respectively in 2022 as compared to 2021. Burundi and Rwanda, among partners, had an increase in production of 3% and 0.3% in 2022 as compared to the year 2021. Whereas Ethiopia, DRC Congo witnessed an increase by 1.5% and 2.4% respectively in 2022, again as compared to 2021. The top 5 market destinations for African tea in 2022 were Pakistan, Egypt, UK, UAE, and Russia, which accounted for 40%, 14%, 9%, 6%, and 4% respectively, totaling 73% of our market, our export market. The next one is auction indices. There was an increase in volume of tea traded through the Mombasa tea auction by 3%, from 503 million kilograms in 2021 to 516 million kilograms in 2022. At the same time, the auction average price increased by 18%, from USD 1.97 in 2021 to USD 2.33 in 2022. On the flip side, the average of outlaws increased from 20.46% in 2021 to 26.72 in 2022. At this juncture, I would like to announce and read and congratulate at the same time the top 3 producers in the auction during the year under review. And these were Kenya Tea Development Agency, which sold 261.83 million kilograms, McLeod Russell's Uganda Limited with 19.42 million kilograms, and Eastern Produce Kenya Limited sold 16.38 million kilograms, the total representing 51% and 4%. No. The 3 different companies represented 51%, the first one, the second one 4%, the third one 3%, and this totaled 59% of the auction sales respectively. Similarly, the top 3 buyers in the auction, again, we congratulate you, were Kagel Kenya Limited, which bought 6.871 million kilograms, and followed by Global Tea and Commodities, which bought 62.47 million kilograms, and third, Chai Trading Company Limited, which bought 59.01 million kilograms, representing 13.3%, 12.10%, and 11.4% respectively, in that order. Ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, I would like to recognize producers and buyers who achieved the highest price, particularly during the year under review. BP1 produced by Kitabi was sold at USD 5.34 and purchased by Desert Africa Limited. PF1 produced by Gatare was sold at USD 3.76 and purchased by Abbas Traders Limited. PD produced by Charagi was sold at USD 3.90, purchased by Kofti Agencies Limited. And finally, Dust 1 produced by the Tangarili was sold at 3.98 USD and purchased by LAB International Kenya Limited. We thank you and ask you to continue supporting the auction prices. Just a brief on financial performance, because this was was largely covered in the reports that we have got on finances. The association made a surplus in its operating income, which is attributed to an increase in the entry of new members. Full details, as I've said, were shown and explained in the financial report. And if you want to get details, I think they are there. And this was a very marked improvement during the year 2022. The Secretariat activities during the year, just a few we highlighted because we had quite a number. One was the membership events. EATT organized the African Tea Convention, East African Tea Convention and Exhibition in July 2022, which was held at Hotel du Lac du Tanganyika in Burundi. Burundi again comes in. I take this opportunity to thank you on behalf of my board and to go back and thank your country, because all members who turned out and supported the event were very happy when they came back, and your country was also very happy because there were no incidences that would have raised a good event that we had in the year 2022. Additionally, there were 3 members forum that were held during the year, and these were one, Oleserani Hotel at Oleserani Hotel in Nairobi, and Mombasa Sports Club. With the auction being conducted electronically, currently, these events and forums provide an opportunity for members to socialize and network. We appeal to members to patronize and support the events when they are called upon. And we look forward to seeing more of them during the year 2023. The second one is just to give a brief on advocacy. The management of EATTA has continued to pursue its advocacy mandate on behalf of members. In the year under review, we experienced many external challenges that we were forced to focus upon as a board in order to survive. I'm glad to say that some of them have been amicably solved, and the remaining few are being discussed. And just to mention a few, one, the case challenging the Tea Act 2020. The court amalgamated the various different cases into a single case that was to be determined by a 3-judge bench. As a result of several appeals and counterclaims by the parties to the case, it is at a stalemate as the court is working to determine a matter of representation by some of the parties involved. The second one is the Kenya Revenue Authority. KRA deployed ICMS. This brought a lot of challenges, particularly to the non-Kenya tea producer members. This matter was taken up with the government, Kenya government. As a result, there has been some good improvements, but some issues still remain to be sorted, and we are in touch with them, we have engaged them, and we hope and trust that in the next 1 month, according to them, all these issues will be solved and we'll be back to good business as it was before. And finally, the third one are discussions on tariffs that are charged to our members who are not members of COMESA. These discussions are on course with the promise that this will be waived. Among non-COMESA members, which was affected more is Malawi. Currently, there is an amendment bill introduced by the Senator Bomet seeking to reverse some of the contentious clauses in the Tea Act of 2020. However, there are still some clauses that are a cause of concern to our members. We presented a memorandum with EATT submissions to Senate early this month and are eagerly awaiting for the outcome. Ladies and gentlemen, the ease of doing business is a concern to all of us because all of us are in business. The program that was introduced by the Cabinet Subcommittee
in the year 2020 to improve Kenya's export competitiveness came to an end in March 2022. Under this program, state agencies such as KEFIS and Port Health implemented a waiver on their charges and fees. The Kenya National Chamber of Commerce also waived their fees for processing the certificate of origin. At the conclusion of the program, which was at the end of 2022, management has continued to engage with the Department of Business Forums and Transformation with a view to making the reforms permanent, and this is still under discussion, and we hope in the next month or so we'll know where our stand is. I know members are suffering. A lot of you have been raising questions and complaints why the charges have gone up. It is under discussion. Things appear to be in our favor, and in the next 1 month or so, we'll come to an end and get to know our position as far as these charges are concerned. And I'm happy to say that the support from development partners, Trust Africa and Solidaridad, our association has been pushing the Ministry of Agriculture to publish national tea policy. This is the same in Uganda, it is the same in Malawi, and I hope and trust that Tanzania has come out of it. Not very sure, but we'll get confirmation. We will keep members informed once this matter is concluded, and the two development partners give their final report, which they have promised to do so in the next month or so. Their support also made it possible for EATTM members to meet and brainstorm on matters affecting the industry in different forums. The first one was held in Uganda, second in Kenya, and the third one in Malawi. For our members from Tanzania and Burundi, I'm told that this year, God willing, we are going to have one in Tanzania, one in Malawi, and again the third one back to Uganda. But that still remains to be seen after confirmation. Ladies and gentlemen, by now members are aware of the shortage of dollars in some of our destination markets, thereby affecting payment for the tea export. This is a major concern to the association, and I want to assure the membership that the board is currently engaged in discussion with the Ministries of Agriculture and Trade, the Ministry of Agriculture and the Ministry of Trade. We have had 2 meetings with the Principal Secretary in the State Department of Trade, one on the 10th of January this year, and the second one last week on the 24th of March. It is also worth noting that several issues were raised in these meetings, and if looked into, will address the areas of concern to members as far as the exporting of tea is concerned. I would like to say just one thing off the cuff, that we discovered that a lot of our members, particularly the buyers, have suffered silently, particularly when they fail to collect their dues from the exporting clients or countries. This matter is being addressed, and God willing, we are going to have an MOU with Pakistan, and an MOU with Sudan North, and an MOU with and an MOU with Russia, but that has since been suspended because it started and it was shelved. And if these are done, it will make life easier for those who are not able to collect their proceeds in time to go through our association, and the association will deal with the other clients, the other side, through the associations for easy business, and that I think will enhance our business as is required. CSR projects, this has been ongoing for years and years. In integrating good corporate citizenship into our business strategies, the association funded projects in Kenya, Democratic Republic of Congo, Rwanda, and Tanzania in the year 2022. The money that was disbursed came from the annual budget of the association. The association will work closely with members along the value chain to support projects from our CSR pillars, and that is to support education, environment, and other worthy causes. Management hosted a charity auction in November last year, 2022. The event was a resounding success. EATTA played a host to Mombasa Governor, His Excellency Abdul Samad Sharif Nasir. Our members were able to raise USD 80,000. The main beneficiaries this time from the proceeds were Rwanda, Burundi, and Kenya. I take this opportunity to thank all members who participated in this worthy cause. Thank you, and continue to support us. I mentioned in passing about the membership growth. The details are as under. 1. EATTA increased its membership by 27 during the year under review. And of the 27, 16 were buyers, 4 were producers, 2 were warehouse members, 2 were packer members, 2 were associate members, and 1 management agent, and that is KTDA MS Limited. KTDA MS Limited ceased to be a producer category, under producer category. The overall membership now stands at 293. We are projecting that in 2023 to an increase of 5%. And this is something again that we see the growth of our association. Visitors. Our association has continued to play host to a number of dignitaries. Among them, just a few, to mention a few, were representatives from AFCFTA, 2, Mr. Ahmed Farah and his team from Timea, 3, Mr. Jayatha Karumanaratne, Chairman of Colombo Tea Traders Association, I hope I pronounced it right, Sri Lanka, Dr. Joshua Wegara, Managing Director of Stanbic Bank, Kenya Limited, and his team, and Dr. Richard Mazosera, the High Commissioner of Rwanda to Kenya, among others. And in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to thank our retiring director, Mr. William Oyosi, who served as the chairman, Tea Buyers Association, and also as chairman of Strategy, Trade and Relationship Board Committee. Mr. Oyosi, can you stand and just say a word?
Allow me to say two. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I stand here delighted that on this particular day, I retire from being a director of EATTA. It has been a journey that started off when I was very, very young. And I stood at that platform and committed myself to serving you as your director. During that time, the environment was not as it is right now. During that time, we were not as open and as engaging as we are. But I took it upon myself, fellow directors, that we are going to open up the space. We are going to be more interactive. We are going to be more focused on what the membership requires of us. I believe we have done that. There have been few challenges here and there, but definitely it is a learning curve. Nothing is perfect, and I can only wish that the team I leave behind control the issues the way they are meant to be controlled and take up from where we started. It is a journey, and I must say thank you so much. There are quite a number of issues that are affecting EATTA currently, and these issues may not be resolved by any individual, but it requires a collective team spirit. Once this house is divided, that is room for the outside forces to take advantage. At this juncture, we cannot allow ourselves to be divided on any matter but let us present our issues as solidly and united as it is possible. I know the fact that we belong from different sub-associations, at times with conflicting interests, but let us try to smoothen our interest for the betterment of the ETTA. Asanteni sana.
Thank you, Thank you. I think those are good remarks. Your experience is more or less the experience that we are going through as a board, and wish you well, but we'll still need your support because it appears that you've been in the board for too long in the sense that you're retiring now, and the experience you have gathered will mean a lot to us. So don't stay by the side, but please interact with the board members and keep advising us based on where you came from and where we are. Thank you. I also wish to recognize other board members who are leaving the board during this annual general meeting due to changes in their respective country associations. These include Mr. Rajiv Bobia, who represented the Tea Association of Tanzania, and Honorable Deogratias Ruimana and his alternate Emmanuel Daiziziga, who served as representatives of Burundi, and they served under STR committee. We've already been introduced to the incoming director who is representing them. We welcome you once again. And when you go back, please pass our regards to the two. Thank you. I thank them all, their commitment and in serving the association, and wish them the best in their future endeavors. Thank you. As we bid farewell to our departing directors, I ask you to join me in welcoming the incoming directors of the board. Mr. Peter Kimanga, we gave him a chance to say hello, representing Kenya Tea Buyers Association. Mr. Alexis Irikwashaka, representing Burundi tea producers. Welcome the two of you and your authorities. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, I said my speech was going to be long, but I've come to an end. I want to thank the management and staff of the Secretariat, headed by the acting MD, Florence Sowino, for their unwavering support and their service to the membership, and all of you for joining us today. Your presence, and I repeat the word presence, here is a big testimony of your interest and support to the association. I deliberately walked in 10 minutes past 9 when I was told we had not formed a quorum. The previous years we used to walk in 30 minutes later, and I think that is a commitment that we cannot let go. Once again, I thank you, and may God bless. Thank you. Continuing and closing our AGM today. Yes. I would like my report to be adopted. I'm being reminded in silence that needs to be done before I open my mouth and say a word. Can my report be adopted? Proposer Michael, seconder, please. Oh, thank you. At this juncture, I would now want to call upon the company secretary or EATT secretary to read the resolution.
Under special business, the board be and is hereby granted consent to proceed and explore options of Eatta building at Dongo Kondu SZ attached to this notice and marked Appendix C. Be and is hereby approved. I will now call upon Director Benjamin Gitonga, Chairman, Building Ad Hoc Committee, to present the proposal for the Eatta building.
again, Chairman, board members, honorable members, invited guests. Good morning and good afternoon. Good morning. Once again, my name is Benjamin Gitonga. I'm going to be very brief, not like the chairman's speech. It will take around 3 minutes, 5 minutes. I think we understand a light type of the same. So mainly I just highlight a few things. But before I do that, we are working with the subcommittee which was formed by the Board of Management. And I will call upon who are present. Mr. Peter Kimanga, Mr. Rob Mandime, Brian Gill, and the other one is Maina Ringo. Maina Ringo is a buyer member and is a surveyor. He has done a lot in the Novokul area. So I think, as you can see, there's an opportunity which has been presented by the government of Kenya. Novokul is located in Mombasa County, 300 acres of land. The special economic zone is adjacent at the Mombasa Airport, the railway terminal, and the seaport, all connected by road. The Mombasa Southern Bypass Highway offers connectivity to the rest of Kenya. Land available for leasing is 1,200 acres. All required infrastructure is either in place or will be in place by March 2024. Next. You can see the difference between Special Economic Zone Act and Export Promotion Zone Act. With purpose for Special Economic Zone, with purpose activities, industrial area parks, free trade zones, ICT parks, 100% access to EAC or domestic market, subject to duty, 10% corporate tax for the first 10 years, followed by 15% for the next 10 years. Expatriates can be employed up to 20% of local employees. For EPZ, limited scope activities, manufacturing, commercial services, etc. 20%. The other one is 100%, but this one is 20% doesn't to be EAC or domestic market, subject to duty. 10% here, corporate tax, no clear provision of expatriate. Next. Novokul economic zone, incentives in place. Corporate tax, 10% first 10 years, 15% next 10 years. Thereafter, you go to the normal taxation in Kenya. Local supplies, zero rated, value-added tax. Investment deduction allowance, 100% allowance on capital expenditure on buildings and machinery. Local government fees exempt, advertisement fees, business permits. Next. Novokul Special Economic Zone incentives, stamp duty or executing any document relating to business activity, withholding tax, preferential late dividends to interest of dividends with percent payment other than dividends, 10%. IDF fees is exempt. Next. You can see the procedure. If you want, even if you are even a company, not necessarily ETTA, you can also take advantage of this. We are doing this for the ETTA, not for members. You submit your investment project, submit form of application, issuance of approval in principle, and a letter of no objection from BRIs. Responsible organization, special economic zone, issuance of SCS enterprise license. This one you apply to Commission of Customs, issuance of export and import code, meet and user requirements set by Commission of Customs, issuance of export-import code. Responsible organization is Kenya Revenue Authority. Next. Way forward. This one we brought here to seek your authority approval so that we can explore our opportunities in the Wokundu. We have already made some official there. So we are just here, we are coming here to seek our authority and approval from new members so that we can proceed to see whether we can have a list from them, and also maybe we can see any other opportunities. And we were supposed to go there. These officials are coming from Nairobi. We are inviting the members, maybe next week or next week, but once we get the tentative date, we'll put it in the secretariat so that we can go together and see the opportunities there. So I think Company Secretary can take at the next level. We are just seeking your authority approval to proceed. Thank you very much.
Before approval, I think we need members' views. And if you allow me as a chair, I would just like to highlight one or two things. I'm told that it is in record with those who have been members of this association that way back more than 13 years ago, the association had an intention to buy a property to move out of this building. What happened, I don't want to tell you. What I can say that it never happened. At the moment, we are paying 9 million Kenya shillings a year for rent for this building. And we are all aware that this particular space is hardly used, and yet we pay that amount of money for the members' kitchen. We've got to think seriously about what we can do. If we don't do it now, time will teach us, because we may be caught up as prices keep accelerating. And I think this is a matter that should be looked at very critically. And also, together with this, we must decide whether we are going to continue paying the sort of rent we are paying to this building with this space being underutilized. And the staff of VHTA are working in corridors. If we don't do it as a board, I think at the end of it, we will be a failure. I now open for comments regarding the presentation that has been given by Director Kitonga before any proposals are made. Can we start with Mr. Yossi?
Thank you, Chairman. My question is, and it stands to be corrected, are we approving the project, or are we approving the intention for a study to be conducted? Because if you're approving the project, I don't think members have got the time to internalize, digest, and actually come with an approval of the sale. But if it's an approval for the intention to carry out a study, then that is in order.
Can I go back to where I started? Before we leave here, we want the views. A presentation has been made. Let's hear your views, then we get. Views, please, Peter.
Chairman, I just wanted to contribute to that issue. Like you rightly said, we had proposals a few years ago on acquiring a property belonging to the HTA, which, under the auction procedures, we have a place to be meeting in. That time we were offered several portions of land at much, much lower prices than today. At the moment, like you rightly said, we are paying something like $75,000 a year for this facility, and Omokundu for a hectare is going for $3,000 per year. Only $3,000 per year, which works out to roughly 15,000 shillings a month for an acre. And there will be a lot of services within that zone. So I would urge the members that we give them a chance to explore that facility. As it is, this building can come down later, which means we will be left without a facility. So I would think this is a good opportunity to go besides the other facilities that are going to happen there. That area is also going to be connected to the KPA, which means it will stand a very good opportunity for even buyers to locate there. And as it comes again in the HTA, we need
another revenue stream. We can be able to invest some of the money to create another revenue stream away from the growing subscriptions that members are paying. Thank you.
Thank you. Another please.
Thank you, Chairman. Mine is just a clarification also for the approval that is being sought here. Is the approval being sought for the acquisition of land? 1, 2 is the acquisition, is the approval being sought for the building? And 3, where is the proposal to support the building in terms of the cost that will incur and the expected income that will be generated? Thank you.
Members, as you have seen, we have not come with any figures. You cannot approve something which has no figure. Our just authority to engage with the authorities of Ramokun. That's what we are seeking from members. Thank you.
And as he says, we want to hear views from those in support and those against, and then from there we move on.
Yes, if I may, as set out in the resolution, seeking the consent of members to proceed to explore this as an option. So it will then come back before the members with those numbers, if that consent is obtained to do. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First question about SEZ. EATTA is an administrative body, it's purely admin. I was under the impression that SEZ it was about manufacturing, adding value, so I don't see how that one comes together. The second thing I'd say is, I would have thought more efficiently, we're seeing the government talking about a common use of facility, which makes sense because we know value addition is a major issue. I would have thought it would make more sense to approach government, to partner with government, that if there's this common use of facility for value addition, that the EATTA could partner and be part of it. A little bit like the structure we see in Dubai with DTDC. But at the end of the day, to take this as an administrative thing, what is the EATTA today? It's just a few officers downstairs. It's relatively a small organisation that's purely active. Yes, I agree. At the moment, this facility is far in excess of what we require and need, but there's no shortage of office space out in Mombasa at very, very reasonable levels. There's a huge oversupply. And when it comes to meetings like we're having here, where we will have to find a central place, hopefully for everyone to come, do we really expect everyone to go out to Kundu for a meeting when everybody is sort of on this side? I think in itself that would be very inconvenient. But my major point on this is, as a special economic zone, which is about manufacturing, value addition, how can EATTA actually be based there that is purely an administrative organisation? Thank you.
Good, Steve.
I think let me start just to get my thoughts in order. I think I'll just introduce myself for those who don't know me, Stephen Ogwapit from United East African Warehouses. It's very interesting. The discussions that are going on right now about the SEZ are very good. I think that's really important for the Mombasa in general. But one of the things I like, and I like the approach that EATTA is taking now, to seek the views of members on whether it will be good to pursue and find out or research whether the SEZ in Kundu is a place for Eatta to go. First of all, before then you come and say, okay, fine, it is a place to go, therefore find what needs to be done, what proposals can come out of that, and then what project can be done there. But it's very important to understand where is the direction that EATT wants the whole industry to go. Because as a warehouseman, and I think a fellow warehouseman will concur, getting space and getting movement of the tea in and out of Shimanzi, which has been a major place, is becoming more and more difficult because there's a lot of development happening in this concentrated area. So we're going to have to require more space, bigger spaces, and maybe places that have roads that are able to move the teas more efficiently for buyers who have to get to the port. Now, it then made sense in that case to move the industry to an area that has, at the moment, very good dual carriage way roads, closer access to the port, and also has space for expansion if growth is going to be something that will continue in the industry. Now, for that purpose, then, if most of your core movements then start to happen across on that side, does it then make sense to have administrative functions happen at the same place, so that then you have a close interaction between everybody? In that case, yes, it does make sense. But like a comment before, does it make sense for Eatta itself to actually go that side? Do they have to be within the core of what everything is? And I think those are the comments that now, or those are the thoughts that members now need to have to be able to make the decision of whether to actually go or not go and still stay in town, and therefore find alternative space in town. With technology, again, the question is, do you really need space? But then, again, if you want to raise revenue, raise income, growth, Eatta as an association, again, that again offers that opportunity. And I think that's where I'd like the conversation today to probably just steer towards and give your views to the member, to the administration. Thank you so much.
Just to add on to what our colleagues have said, the first thing that we need to understand is that one, this is an eye-opener for all of us. This is a new zone, is currently open, and the earliest we take the opportunity to start to conglomerate there as a tea industry makes a lot of sense for us. So if you look at the costings, which I'm sure most people didn't know, it gives an opportunity for other tea players to start to move in that direction, so that we are all concentrated in one area where we can be able to efficiently handle the business that we handle best in tea. The second one, I think, is a multi-user facility. It doesn't mean that you can only set up a factory or a warehouse. You can actually set up offices and other kinds of operations to operate from there. So it's not restrictive in that you can only do this and that. The third one is that with regards to partnership, again, if we have a great idea, if we have something that is well refined, well designed, and that is likely to be implemented, there are other donor-funded agencies that are ready to partner with us. So if we have a good product that we are able to sell effectively to many other people, as Eatta, we stand to get a lot of benefits out of it, both through our own resources, through government support, and also through other development partners that exist and are looking for these kind of opportunities. Thank you.
Yeah, Benjamin and Florence has a big bite.
So I think let's consider the views that have been raised, and it is either to give a member a chance to propose and second the resolution, and as has been explained by the acting MD, it is after this approval that we now move on and give favors and will not start until, if necessary, we have a meeting similar to the one we have today. But if we are in a hurry and we have got our facts handy, probably we'll have to call a special general meeting where everything will be laid on the table. If you agree, can we have a proposer and a seconder? And I'm told before we do that, we've got to show the support and the non-support by show of hands. Are we comfortable with that? By a show of hands, are we comfortable? Okay, by a show of hands. Those who are in support, can you raise your hands?
Continue study.
Yeah, to continue, yes, to continue. Yes. Who is counting? The secretary will have to. We continue studying until we reach there. And those who are against? Yeah.
I have a question, please. Maybe we need to be clearly clarified because the statement we have and the resolution we are supposed to be making here, we are talking about a proposal for an EATTA building. You know, when we bring in the building aspect of it and not call it a study of what we want to do, building now comes into mind because what building are we talking about? What are we visualizing? Are we talking of an EATTA building which has A, B, C, or we'll then talk about whatever comes into being? What are we envisioning? Are we looking at offices? Are we looking at go-downs? Because the resolution is concept to proceed and explore options for EATTA building at Nogokudu.
Explore, but are we comfortable? Because we don't want to, it is the way we understand. Can we change the word building to property?
Maybe.
Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, that would make sense so that...
property.
Yeah.
Okay, those against, we've already counted those. So unanimously, it is passed. So I need a proposer and a second. A proposer, please. Alice. Seconder, please. Seconder. Oh, thank you. Yes. Thank you. Good, we are coming to a close. The next item is any other business, AOB. We have not received notice of any other business to be transacted in this annual general meeting. That being the case, I want to call the meeting to an end. Thank you for coming. Thank you for the support. And may God bless you. The meeting is Excuse me. Just a word from the company secretary, because we had people watching or attending online. Can you see what I say?
Those who are watching online are free to remit their views for this particular meeting.
I'm told to say the meeting has ended.
We are proceeding to have a board meeting. Just take a 5-10-minute break and we'll be downstairs at the
Caesar, can you close the meeting with a word of prayer? All outstanding please for another blessing.
Let us pray. We thank you, Lord, that you have given us the time to talk, agree, and find direction. We thank you for the meeting that we have had. We pray for John and Masters for who have attended, and may you give us another chance to meet in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you very
Good to see you. Hi. All is well? Good. Let me check you.